MARPE has been such a night and day game changer for my breathing. Like, it's hard to even remember what it was like before. It's
Mm.
actually insane. I mean, you see what Clavicular is doing. Like, he's taking meth. Like, I don't
Oh,
think.
I didn't know that. What do you mean he's taking meth? I worry about him doing a jaw surgery and getting it wrong because I already think he's really good looking. And I think if he's going to do the jaw surgery, he has to be really subtle with it, really delicate, really careful to prevent himself from going into uncanny valley. So when did you do your MARPE? Show us your MARPE. It's still in your mouth. And then we're going to look at some before photos of you so that we can see what the transformation basically looked like. Hell yeah.
You're kind of light.
No, it's all good. Yeah, so that's a custom MARPE from Audrey Yoon, and I know that you're in LA. So Dr. Audrey Yoon is in LA, and I know she doesn't do piezo cuts, not much at least. And so I would imagine that that was just a bareback, no surgical assist MARPE that you got from Audrey Yoon. Is that correct? And you're 22 years old?
Yeah, I'm 22. I'm almost 23. Yeah, it was a 8 mini screw MARPE. 4 of the screws were diagonal, and I think 4 of them that weren't diagonal went through both sides of the bone. So that's me right before I get installed. Kind of like had a night of drinking beforehand, so a little bloated and all that. But that was beforehand. You could see the difference if you look at the after photos or me right now. I've gained a lot of width in my maxilla. My cheekbones are more prominent. My nose got a little wider. My under eye area has gotten a little better.
Here we can see skeletally what you went through over the past year. So you started your MARPE in January. Looks like it was January 27th is the before scan. And then we have September 29th, the after scan. We can see a massive, not massive, but a very healthy looking, very symmetric looking diastema. There's some funny business going on up here in the frontal maxillary suture area
Yeah,
where you had a pre-existing sort of deviation of this bone here.
correct.
And then it looks like the MARPE, instead of kind of taking it and swinging it the other way, which would have been ideal, it looks like it sort of took it for a ride and magnified that a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you comment on that and how that's been for you?
So my nose has always been very slightly off, and it wasn't something I would notice in the mirror, but I would notice it in photos. Also, I think my left side of my face, my bad, I just made the sound. The left side of my face has always been a little more bulky, and I think that's because my bite is better on my left side. So when I would chew food, my masseter would get all the work on the left side, my left masseter.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the MARPE has pretty perfectly symmetrically split the suture and expanded it. But any unevenness is because of the unevenness I already had. So my deviated septum got pretty, I would say, noticeable now. If you were to like look closely at my nose, you can maybe see it. This side is wider. So like I have a bony like bump here. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot the name of the bone, but it's under your nasal bone or whatever. While this side I don't. So it didn't really expand the right side of my like septum area, but it did expand like my actual nose, my nasal airway, my cheekbones, my maxilla.
Do you think this is a fair representation of the before and after of the soft tissue? And maybe we can actually look at some before and after photos. But is this what we're seeing here? Is before on the right, after on the left?
Yeah, so you can see, I don't know how much weight I lost or gained in the meantime, but you can definitely see like the left photo is wider. My whole skull is like much wider, and I have a lot better, I guess, of a soft tissue overlay because I have more skeletal support, I guess you could say. If we want to say in Looksmaxing terms, I have more bone mass, so I ascended.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, tell me about that. Tell me about the role that Looksmaxing played in you deciding to do this treatment versus, as you referenced earlier, nasal breathing issues that have plagued you your whole life. We can see here that you are a competitive power lifter, and you have been since you were a very young man. You were 17 in this video.
I was 16.
16, damn. So
Yeah.
absolutely yoked as a 16-year-old, but just not being mean, but you can see that the head doesn't really match the rest of the body.
Yeah.
Super common. It's almost like Derek from More Plates, More Dates. Big body, small head. Is that unfair?
I guess since you say that, I notice it. I mean, he's extremely yoked, but no hate to him, but
Of course not.
I
All
don't
the
think
respect
he
to him.
looks to be. I don't think he tries to become like a Giga Chad, but you can kind of see like, he doesn't really like chew. He's not trying to grow his face. Like he's a pretty normal looking guy up top, which I feel like is good because people would rather listen to a guy who looks normal than some roided up mass monster who has like acromegaly face. But so when it comes to looksmaxxing, so to all my friends and family that are watching this video, this is going to get very like detail oriented. This is gonna kind of maybe get a little meany, but this is just transparent. This is my life experience, and these are my issues. I don't know if a lot of people have had similar issues, but we are gonna kind of talk about like the whole looksmaxxing thing because I had breathing issues, but I also noticed I did not grow into like what I know is my genetic potential when it comes to like facially. Like this is me as a kid. I had the worst allergies. Everybody since middle school thought I was high every day because my eyes were bloodshot red and teary from allergies. I couldn't breathe through my nose probably like 80% of the time, anytime. I I kind of snored a lot when I was younger, and I've always been really into.
Here's a good one, man. Here's a really good one.
Yeah, so I've always been really into working out. My great, I mean, not my great, my grandfather was a judo champion, national champion back in Armenia. My dad's side, they were my uncles and my dad, they were all very heavily into MMA. My mom's side, they didn't really compete, but my mom is like pretty yoked. Her first time working out, she deadlifted 245. No joke.
Wow.
And she's had breast cancer. Like she should not be that strong. But I have, I would say, pretty good genetics. And I have also worked extremely hard on my physique and being fit and bodybuilding, powerlifting. I used to be coached by Elliot Atwell, who was David Lade, Max Taylor, Lex Little, Anthony Mantelo's coach, which are all big names in like Young LA or Gymshark. I mean, everyone knows David Lade. I had the same coach as David Lade. And this was me at the time. I was like 17 years old here, maybe. And I was, I don't know, I think squatting almost 500,
Damn.
benching almost 3.5, and deadlifting mid to low 500s. And I was on my way up. I was posting a lot. And I was like, why am I not going as viral as like these other guys? Part of it was because like I didn't put the EDM music that was really popular. I'm a metalhead, but another one was like people like seeing pretty boys that are shredded, and that was the first time I realized, oh, like looking good, like you could be massive too, but like you said, lean is law. Lean is law, and you're not gonna like get a big following unless you have a niche. You're not gonna get a big following unless you don't look good, and so I've always been into making YouTube videos, making TikTok. I had 10,000 on TikTok before I got banned for being a little too edgy on TikTok. But I've always been really into like making videos. I'm doing that on Instagram now. I've been a personal trainer. I've been a powerlifting coach. I make clothes. I have a brand, an Armenian gym brand. And I noticed me not looking presentable has held me back,
What do you mean not looking presentable? Are we seeing that in these photos? Are you talking about how you're below the neck, you're absolutely ripped and very impressive, but above the neck, it's kind of, you can see some, retrognathia, some narrowness, an obtuse nasolabial angle. jaw setback, clearly someone who didn't grow to their full genetic potential when it comes to facial structure? Or is that my own view and that's not your own view of yourself?
No,
Tell me.
you're right. I mean, we're talking in like purely how it is terms, you know? So anyone watching this video, like that is how it is. Now, do I view myself as like subhuman? No. But those are like major issues. Like I don't know how nobody like pointed it out when I was young. Nobody wanted to get my allergies fixed when I was young. I mean, medical treatment and healthcare and whatever in the US is like weird, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've put in a lot of work on my body and I realize I should look better. Not that I don't look good, but I should look a lot better for the work I put in. And I'm being held back because, you know, I didn't grow into my genetics how I was supposed to. I feel lethargic. I slur my words a lot because I don't have room in my mouth. I always have like allergies. I always have congestion. I always have a runny nose. I always have to blow my nose all the time. If I sneezed once, I would sneeze 20 times. I would probably sneeze like 50 times a day, every day of my life. I would get out of bed, you know, like get out of my bed with a six pack, shredded with veins. You know, I can go run a mile pretty quick in like 8 minutes. I can also bench 3 plates for some reps, but I can't have like a single day in my life for like maybe the past 21 years where my breathing issues didn't bother me. I would never feel well rested when I would wake up. I would realize I couldn't abuse my body the same way other people I know. For example, let's say I go to Vegas and I have a heavy night of drinking and like we went to the club. The rest of the weekend is cooked. Like I'm constantly having allergies. I feel like garbage. I feel horrible. I don't want to talk to my friends. I literally just want to like get all the mucus out of my nose and that inflammation and make it go away. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've just been dealing with all of these little issues that kind of accumulate to be a lot.
This was super interesting when we looked at it earlier. This is your uh, inside of your nose before your MARPE, and inside your nose we can see. So the black area is space where air can travel. This is your right side. We see the R here. So the right side looks pretty clear. The left side, this little nodule is your turbinate. It looks pretty inflamed, and it's obstructing where the air can flow. We can see no black tubes here where air can flow. Up here we can see a little bit. This is before the MARPE, but even after the MARPE, the nasal cavity is so much bigger.
It is
We
much.
can see we can see the custom MARPE here. This is September 29th, so this is at the end of your expansion. But look at the turbinates again. They've totally inflamed to occupy all of the new space that you've created. And
Yeah.
you told me it's because
I drank the night before and I had a very bad allergy flare up in the morning.
yeah. So and it just goes to show how these scans are just snapshots in time and how much of the function that we're talking about when it comes to breathing is affected by things like allergy, by things like sensitivity. And you've always been a sensitive guy and like
Yeah,
not a very durable guy, as you've said.
yeah. Like anything I would do, I would feel affect my health
Mm.
in some sort of way.
And did you have powerlifting friends that were just invincible? They could drink a 30 rack and, blow an 8 ball and then go back at it the next day.
Yeah, it's weird like seeing people around me I'm friends with who don't take care of themselves, but they're pretty chillin' because they don't have the same breathing issues and stuff that I have. And it's frustrating, you know? It's frustrating
Mm.
to see how someone you know who doesn't take care of their health at all can abuse their body and be fine. Meanwhile, I'm like a mega gym bro with a six pack who can lift like whatever weight you tell me to, and I like drink a little bit or I smoke a little bit or I don't get like a perfect like 8 hours of sleep, and I'm just like, you know, I'm like a fart,
Yeah.
to be around.
Yeah.
I feel horrible. And
Yeah.
so yeah, like my powerlifting, so to give some numbers, when I was 18, I deadlifted 6 plates and squatted, I think, 515. And when I was 17, I benched 365. I did a meet. So I injured my back before that. I injured my back after that, rehabbed it, did a meet, injured it again, rehabbed it. Then I got stabbed. And now I'm rehabbing that again because my abdominal wall got messed up. But the only reason I didn't go farther in powerlifting was literally because of my breathing issues. Because after a certain point, because I already have a lack of airway and I have all these breathing issues, when I bulk up, I can feel my chest weighing down on my throat. I could feel my traps and my neck constricting my airway. So like that
Hmm.
was me at the powerlifting meet. That's only like maybe 540, and then this is me like after I got stabbed. So, but what's funny is I felt the healthiest I ever felt in my life, as in like breathing terms and whatever, after I got stabbed because I didn't eat for 5 days in the hospital. And as we talked about this before we started, that puts the body in a state of autophagy where it clears out all this inflammation, it clears out whatever like that's bad in the body. And I didn't sneeze, and it could have been all the cortisol because cortisol suppresses your immune system, you know,
For sure.
all the cortisol, all the stress. But I felt the healthiest I ever felt in my life, while also being the weakest I ever felt in my life. When I got out of the hospital, didn't eat for 5 days because my body fasted and cleansed itself. So, but it's like, why do I have to go to that extent to feel good? You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
why should I have to go on a fast? Why should I have to have a perfect diet? Why should I have to adhere to like cardio and sauna every day? Why should I have to take Benadryl or Zyrtec and then get drowsy, And it's like, this can all be fixed by getting the MARPE. So I got the MARPE, and I am going to get double jaw surgery when I'm done with school. But
Mm-hmm.
MARPE has been such a night and day game changer for my breathing. Like, it's hard to even remember what it was like before. It's
Hmm.
actually insane. I don't know how I wasn't going like crazy off the walls every day, feeling like garbage. But now, after the treatment, 7 out of 8 millimeters in, I'm almost done. It has truly been like one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's really what drove you to MARPE, was this sense that you wanted to be more durable. You wanted to not be so sensitive to every little imperfection in your lifestyle,
Yeah.
slash also a combination of the fact, this is you with your MARPE, by the way.
Hmm.
Audrey Yoon, custom MARPE, no piezo assist. Dr. Audrey Yoon doesn't really do piezo assists from what I've been told. Uh, and slash looksmaxxing, because you are an influencer, you do create content, and you were noticing that there was something about your content that was just not taking off. And the lifting was there, the strength was there, the numbers were there, yet there was some X factor that was not getting you over the hump compared to some other creators in your niche. Is that right? And you felt like it was just your you weren't quite good looking enough.
If I'm gonna be straight up, I feel like that was mainly it because, and people are gonna be like, bro, like, just post, whatever. You don't want to post when you're like lethargic, bloated, filled with boogers, and
Mm-hmm.
look like garbage. And getting lean definitely helps. Like, I think I'm a good looking guy when I'm lean, but I don't want to be like some special like Gymshark athlete. But just I have noticed that like being a good looking guy like opens a lot of doors. A
Mm-hmm.
lot. Even if you improve it slightly, it can make a huge difference. on your life. And I come from a background where being a good-looking guy doesn't matter. I mean, I'm Armenian. My grandparents say a man only has to be better looking than a monkey. You know,
To get married?
yeah, to get married. But it's like my sole purpose in life isn't to get married. You know, like I have a lot of things I want to do before I start a family. I want to make content. I want to go far in lifting. I want to have the most extravagant life before I go and settle down. And I'm not saying like extravagant life, like, I'm going to be a sinful guy, but, I want to enjoy myself and not just live this, not in a bad way, but I'm not trying to say this in a bad way where traditionalism is bad. I believe in it, but like live an actual life before I get to that. I don't want to live the same way my grandparents did in the Soviet Union. Like I want to do things for myself, and
Do you think
I want to
do
have
you
internal control over my life, like the internal locus of control. Does that make
are
sense?
you motivated? Of course. Are you motivated by the fact that like you want to find a really, really good looking wife and you want to take your pick? Because obviously, when you talk about the Arab ideal of just looking better than a monkey is all you need to get married and Qatr khair Allah, have a family, have kids, which is the ultimate telos of traditional Arabic and I would say all of human life, really. Uh, but those were arranged marriages often, or you were selecting from
Yeah.
a pool of like 20 potential village women that might be your age. And because you weren't seeing amazingly beautiful women all the time, a fair looking woman would have been very arousing to you in that era, right? But these days, you live in LA in 2025. And so presumably, you don't want to just take whatever comes your way. Is that a motivating factor for you at all, or not?
No, it definitely is. Like if I'm going to be transparent, when I was younger, I moved around a lot, and I was constantly like meeting new people and forgetting them. Meeting new people, forgetting them. I switched schools maybe like 5 times, and I was kind of like a geeky kid. And part of it, I was geeky because I was just genuinely a good kid. I listened to my parents. And I think part of it was the self fulfilling prophecy of like, this is going to sound like super red pill, maybe a little delusional. But like, I didn't really get invited to parties. I didn't really like do a lot of fun things. Like, I literally just worked out and played video games. And it was fun. But getting out of high school, going to college, I had my eyes open, and then I came to more of like my more Armenian community, and then I saw like it is very competitive to find a good girl, and sometimes it doesn't matter how you look, and I realize that. But the thing is that I'm not really necessarily even doing it to like find a girl. I'm doing it for myself, you
Mm.
know. But yeah, like how you look will affect like who you're gonna find.
So,
Definitely.
so let me double click on that last comment you made. So you said you're not really doing it to find a girl, you're doing it for yourself, and it makes me think of Clavicular, who obviously is everywhere right now. Like I don't feel like he's doing it for the girls. I feel like he's doing it for himself in some way. It's almost like it's a whole way of life. Can you help me understand what is the clavicular phenomenon? What does it mean to become better looking for yourself? Is this inherent to the looksmaxing philosophy? Is it about yourself or is it about slaying? Remember, man, I'm 35, so
Yeah.
I'm 15 years older than I would say the core. Well, I'm 15 years older than clavicular. I'm 13 years older than you. Help me understand what this all is.
Okay. So this is a deep topic. Um, for me, I never wanted to be like a degen. So that's not like
What is a degen? What's a
like
degen?
I never really cared about when I was younger, like hooking up with girls and this and that, you know. But then when you realize you're not good enough, the insecurity is what drives you, you know. And you need to recognize, hey, is this actually what's good for me, or am I living out of insecurity? But a lot of guys like me, I feel like I never got the attention I deserved, even though I know myself I'm a really good guy, just because I kind of got like overlooked. And I was also very socially awkward, so I don't think like it was necessarily just me, my looks. Like I do think I was good looking enough to find someone, but I was also very socially awkward, and those kind of go hand in hand into not helping out each other. And so you get a lot of these guys, like when I was posting on TikTok, I was getting a lot of these guys. They're good looking guys hitting me up. Hey, like I think I need my cheekbones wider. Or you think I'll look good with the stubble or clean shave? And they're kind of just abandoning their own like sense of identity to chase this like looksmaxxing thing. And a lot of it comes out of insecurity, but also a lot of it just comes out of like that is how it is. I mean that is really how it is.
What do you mean by that?
Like if you are better looking, you are going to get farther in life, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But some dudes are going way too out of their way to do it for a marginal difference. Like for me, this has been life changing. But there's dudes who don't have breathing issues hitting me up. Should I get this? It'll make me look better. And it's like if you don't have the breathing issues and you're already good looking, like bro, just go touch some grass, improve your social skills. Or like maybe you just don't have the right environment. Maybe it's nothing with you, you know? And
You're talking about a diminishing returns continuum where there's like a threshold that once you pass it, you're sort of good enough to be able to proceed and accomplish what you want to accomplish in life. And a lot of guys, because maybe they perceive looksmaxing as more accessible to them because it suits their engineering, video game, builder mind that men innately have, as say compared to women. Men are more interested in things and systems and building machines, and looksmaxing suits that very well because you can look at the human body and you can take an engineering mindset to it and tweak things and tweak
yeah,
systems almost like you're modifying a car. And yet maybe they would be better off addressing some of the intangibles because they're already good looking enough, like maybe working on social skills or changing their environment or working on their career and money game. Is that what you're saying? I'm not necessarily saying that that's the way it is or should be, but I'm asking you if that's what you're saying.
yeah, like there's a lot of things because there's a lot of guys that don't look good and they definitely need to look smacks. But there's a lot of guys that do look really good and they're like never going to fix that void by looking better. Does that make sense? Like like
Would Clavicular agree with that, or is he on the extreme of what is possible with looksmaxing? Help me understand him, because I've been getting a lot of people asking me about Clavicular and about Oscar Patel, but let's focus on Clavicular for now. What would he say to that? Would he yield and say there is such a thing as overdoing it with looksmaxing, and some people that would probably get more yield focusing on some other area of self-improvement, or would he say always looks max to the max?
well, it kind of depends on your goal, you know.
Okay.
If if you're trying to go out to nightclubs and like hook up with girls, I mean, improving your game is very important, but you're also going to get like an expen I cannot say it right, exponential gain from looking better. But like if you are just trying to be a traditional guy and start like a family and like live in like the suburbs or a rural area and you're not on Instagram, you're not on social media, you're not trying to live an extravagant lifestyle, it's not that like important, you know. But I mean, you see what Clavicular is doing, like he's taking meth, you know. Like I don't
Oh,
think
I didn't know that. What do you mean he's taking meth?
I mean, I don't know for sure, but from what I've seen in every comment section under his videos, he's like, everyone's like, he's taking math, which is like meth, but they don't want to get flagged. And he's like the recharge method, and like they like start coke on stream.
But meth isn't really good for like social skills. I mean, I have friends that take Adderall, for example. They're prescribed Adderall. Maybe they have been for like 15 years or whatever since they were teenagers. And one in particular tells me that on days where he's hanging out with people, he does not take Adderall that day because it's not pleasant to be all jacked up and, you know, like that on amphetamines when you're like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
is that incorrect?
I used to work at a detox facility.
Okay.
So I got to know a lot of meth heads. And
Hmm.
I don't think meth and Adderall is necessarily like the same. Like it is kind of the same thing, but if you've met a meth head, they will never stop talking. Never. They are yapping your ear off. When I used to work at the detox facility, it was getting annoying. Like, and a lot of these people would come in, they're drug addicts, yeah, but like they're good people overall that just like got into drugs. And meth like does something to you that makes you like not stop talking. Like even
Hmm.
after you're done using it, you come off, you would still see like the resemblance of the meth usage, and their brain is firing quick, which is it seems like they get a superpower from doing meth. This is a very interesting place this conversation is going into. Um, but I think Adderall might be a little bit more clean cut and just focused. But like meth, like I have talked to people, they're like, oh, when I took meth, like I felt I was invincible. Like I would go like rob stores and like go gambling and then go to the club and this and that. So I don't think Adderall does that to you. Like meth makes you high. And like
Hmm.
I've heard anyone that touches meth, they're hooked on it like for life, or like it's really hard to get off. Like first time you touch it, you're on it.
Hmm.
So, but he's doing it because it makes you shred. And I'm not gonna lie, I've seen a lot of meth heads at the detox. If they don't have like the cranial facial deformities from doing meth and burning away their sinuses and their jaw and their teeth, they're usually like this, like models, like
Hollowed out cheekbone,
yeah,
super lean.
that's what he said he's doing it for. And like, I don't think the average guy should be doing that. Um,
Oh, wait. Clavicular says he's doing meth?
I don't think he like necessarily said it, but he said he has like a recharge method, which is,
Okay.
I mean, meth makes you high for like 3 days. So I think that's what it is. That's what everyone's saying it is. No, he did say it, actually. He's like, you think I'm high on crystal meth because I want to be? No, like I'm doing it to Looksmax so I could sail for days, do my work, and get hollow cheeks and lose weight. Um, so obviously,
Wow.
like he has a lot of issues, but do I like not respect the guy? No. I mean, do I not respect the meth addicts that come to my work? No. I think what he's doing, even though it's very extreme, it's brought a lot of light, showing that you can just be like a complete Chad and do whatever you want to get famous, and that just kind of goes to show in a lot of different ways that isn't just his his channel in it for him. You know,
Yeah, what would you say is like the two things or the one or two things that you respect Clavicular about and that is a positive effect of his influence? And then what would you say is one or two criticisms you would have of Clavicular? And I'm not making this about Clavicular. I ask only because I feel like right now he is the personification of the Looksmaxing movement. And my purpose in asking you the question is to help me understand looksmaxing better as a philosophy.
yeah,
So this is just my way of trying to tease that out of you. Because to me, I have mixed feelings. Like, I'll share my views. Like, I respect that Clavicular is a perfectionist. I respect that he's a master of his craft. I respect that he's stoic. He's really good under pressure. I respect that he's unashamed, that he is totally like proceeding with confidence and he has no shame about what he believes in.
Yeah.
My criticism and I appreciate that he's making Looksmaxing mainstream, because JawHacks has always been Looksmaxing adjacent, and it's always been a sort of dirty little secret of JawHacks that a lot of the audience is Looksmaxing, and I've never been ashamed to talk about Looksmaxing stuff. It's obviously expanders and jaw surgery is how Looksmaxing is primarily done. It's the hardest part of Looksmaxing, is getting that right. It's the easiest thing to screw up and really mess yourself up. My criticism of Clavicular would be, I obviously think it matters what you put into your body. As a very sensitive, chronically ill, older guy, I cannot do meth. If I did meth, I would have a headache for like 6 weeks.
You have
Okay.
the worst migraine.
I'd have the worst, like him and Fuentes talk about how like what you eat doesn't matter. What's up?
Aren't vasoconstrictors good for migraines, like ephedrine?
My favorite medicine is called a triptan, like sumatriptan, somatriptan, and I believe they are vasoconstrictors.
Yeah.
The problem is, if you take a lot of vasoconstriction drugs, like caffeine, for example, then when the drug wears off, you get a rebound of vasodilation, and that's when the headache happens. Or if you take a stimulant and you vasoconstrict, vasoconstriction might be one side effect of that drug, but another one might just be that you start clenching your jaws like crazy. And if you have TMJ disorder like I do, then you're just going to create craniofacial pain from the clenching. And if you don't do that when you're awake, you'll do it in your sleep. So one way or another, I would get sick from putting the things in my body that he puts in and gets away with. So I guess I would say, when I first started in the jaw hacking space, I was blindly optimistic about doing exogenous treatments and them always having all upside and very little downside. I worry about him doing a jaw surgery and getting it wrong, because I already think he's really good looking. And I think if he's going to do the jaw surgery, he has to be really subtle with it, really delicate, really careful, to prevent himself from going into uncanny valley in terms of what he looks like post. So if, that's really my only, and then I think he can be pretty mean to people. But I'm just a non-confrontational guy, so it's just foreign to me to see the way he interacts coldly with people. That's not really like, I'm not criticizing him for that, because he can do him. And I wish I was more confrontational. I wish I was more capable of having uncomfortable conversations with people the way he calls people out. I need a little more of that. So I think he can go a little too far with that, and he can be kind of cruel and mean. But my real criticism with him is this idea that take steroids, and when people say, oh, but doesn't that prevent your testes from producing natural testosterone? And he'll say, oh, just stay on steroids forever. Right. And it's like,
yeah, some of that's ridiculous. Like, this might end up getting clipped in like a black pill edit, but whatever. I feel like he's not doing testosterone even to build his physique. He's doing it for, like, I think, more bone mass in his face, because when you take testosterone, I believe what it does is it further masculinizes your face, so it's going to give you more dimorphic features, sharper, bigger, like bones and all of that. I don't know if he does HGH. I've thought about hopping on, but I'm like a gym bro. But I've wanted to stay natty, because I know what I'm capable of when it comes to my physique is a lot. Like, I achieved a lot younger, and then I got nerfed. I got injured a bunch of times, but I know if I locked in and stayed injury free, I could probably like do some damage. Like, I could probably hop on a stage. But I feel like the hopping on tests just to make your like face look better is kind of ridiculous. And then obviously, like, I don't think he purposely tries to brainwash, but he definitely has affected a lot of people in a way that has like overly brainwashed them about like basically making your life's purpose to look better, And it's going from what was supposed to be like, oh, I just wanted a six pack, to like severe crazy looksmaxxing. And we shouldn't have so many people doing that. Not that I don't think there's a lot of people doing that, and I think most people doing what they do ends up being a truly net positive. Like for me, I know when I get my double jaw surgery, do I necessarily like absolutely need it? Probably not. But how much would my quality of life go up? You know, I will have more energy. I will look better. People will probably treat me better and whatever. But that's like little things. But what about if you do social media? What about if you want to be an influencer? Then that's when it really becomes important. And I feel like all these people are like doing all this when in the end they're still trying to live a mediocre life. And it's you don't need to be an extraordinary guy if you just want to live a mediocre life, you know?
Yeah. You know what it makes me think of? When people get into the pursuit of money and they forget that money is just a means to an end. Money is something that you use to buy time and buy experience and buy uh, resources to be able to support a wife and children or to be able to build things that you want to build. And a lot of times people get so caught up in the hustle of earning the money that they lose the time and the morals to be able to actually spend it and get good use out of it. And I feel like, do you think something similar happens with looksmaxxing where people lose sight of the fact that looking good is just a means to an end? It's a means to having a successful creator career or
I think
finding a spouse.
I think people are definitely starting to like take it too far. But I don't think it's gotten out of hand yet. So
Mm,
like I've heard like there's a bunch of like 15, 16-year-olds on Reddit talking about their steroid use. Yeah. That's not good, bro. Like let your puberty do its thing. Like, if you're trying to HGH max to being like 6'2", when your genetic set point is 5'6", like I don't know, bro, just deal with being like kind of short or whatever.
yeah,
Like your life is
yeah.
people are exacerbating like how bad things are when they're not like a mega Chad. And it's like most people put in the work, they can live a good life.
Mm, hmm.
But
Yeah,
I want to talk about like the before and afters because I feel like we haven't really touched on that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. What would you like to focus on specifically? I've got your photos here. Please lead the way, man. Tell me exactly what you want to talk about, and we can definitely do so. And then I want to hear about your plans for jaw surgery too, as well,
Okay,
because
yeah. So my jaw surgery, I am gonna have Dr. Tehrany do it, which you interviewed her, correct? But
yes, I'm a big fan.
yeah, have you interviewed Dr. Yoon yet though?
No, I haven't. Never talked to Dr. Yoon in my life.
Okay,
Obviously, I know of her. She's a legend, but
yeah. So Dr. Audrey Yoon is like the main MSG MARPE provider in LA. I don't know if I said this earlier or if I said this before we started recording, but my videos on TikTok, one of them got like 4 million views. I ended up having like a million likes on my account, 10,000 followers. And I was posting a lot of these like videos of my expansion. They were blowing up. And then every time I would go, they're like, oh, someone got referred from your video, this, that. And then I'm gonna have Dr. Tehrany do my jaw surgery in 2 years. And you've kind of heard about like the whole Kaiser jaw surgery thing, and she's a Kaiser doctor. If you don't need it, she's not going to give it to you, you know. But for me, it was very clear I needed it. Like she just looked at me, and I told her my symptoms and how I felt, and she's such a nice, lovely lady. Like I felt so comfortable being around both Audrey and Dr. Tehrany. So if you actually need jaw surgery, go to Dr. Tehrany because she was really nice to me. I haven't got to the second step of planning yet, but I'm going to get it when I'm done with nursing school. And hopefully, maybe I can ask her, hey, can I work for you as your assistant nurse or whatever? Which I would
wow.
think would be cool because I know you work in the whole like jaw surgery sect, like you're a patient advocate. So
Hmm.
you kind of go and see what's going on. And so I kind of, after I get my surgery, I kind of maybe want to work in that field. But yeah, she told me like we're probably gonna do double. I don't like urgently need my maxilla forward, but she said it's better to do double. So I'm probably going to do double jaw surgery. Probably some like counterclockwise rotation. I don't know yet. We haven't done the planning, but she's going to be my surgeon. She's really nice. She's great. So if you need it, I'll say go to her. And I went to her maybe a year ago, and it took me a long time to get this process started. It took me 2 years because I didn't have money saved up, and I didn't know how insurance worked, and I didn't know I could apply for like Medi-Cal or whatever. So I applied for Medi-Cal. It brought my premium down from like 250 to like $50 a month. And then I was like, you know what? It's perfect. And then I got the ball rolling, talked to the surgeon, talked to Audrey Yoon, and then I started the process.
And your surgery will end up being zero cost to you if you get it done through Kaiser with Dr. Tehrany. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's a total loophole where like you can get an elite level jaw surgery for $0 minus your Kaiser premiums for the years leading up to the surgery itself. But yeah, I feel odd exposing that secret on the channel, but it's a secret I've been onto for since I interviewed Dr. Tehrany, I realized, wow, there's this amazing surgeon in Southern California who, if you just get Kaiser and if you need the surgery, you'll get a free surgery
Yeah.
through this system.
I hope this doesn't end up like biting me in the ass or something.
No.
I
It sounds
definitely
like
still
you're already
need,
her patient.
yeah, I'm already her patient. I definitely still need it. My nasal breathing has gotten better from the MARPE, but I definitely still need it. I still have a lot of like um a lack of space, I feel like, in my throat or my tongue, and just aesthetically, again, I could look a lot better. There's no reason to be held back. It's not high risk. MARPE was not scary. I'm not scared of the jaw surgery. I'm not scared of the recovery. I mean, I got stabbed in my stomach. I can deal with it, you know?
Yeah. Can I ask how you got stabbed or why you got stabbed? What was the circumstances of that?
Can't really talk about it.
Okay.
But I did end up I got stabbed in my abdomen.
And
So,
your guts were pierced?
yeah, my small intestine was poking out. So if you want to pull up the photo of me in the hospital, I was the healthiest. Did I go over this earlier? I was the healthiest I ever felt.
You mentioned that this forced you to fast, probably because you didn't want food passing through your intestines while they were open, right? Is that the idea? Did they tell you to fast?
They didn't feed me food for like 5 days. I mean, look at me, bloat
Yeah,
maxed out
because
of my mind.
yeah. So what are we looking at here? What did you want to point out about these photos?
You could probably find like a better. So that was me. I lost 15 pounds. Okay, so this is a good before and after. So I lost like 15 pounds in the hospital from not eating for 5 days. And then because I was fasting and autophagy, I had like no inflammation in my body. None.
Mm,
So
mm,
this was like the most chiseled my face got in a long time. See, I'm like playing video games, but you could see how narrow my nasal space is.
mm. This is pre-MARPE? Yeah, right?
MARPE.
Yeah.
So you can see now my nose has gotten wider. Now a lot of people think like wider nose is unaesthetic, which for some people it might be, but I feel like for my phenotype it matches it. Being Armenian, I actually have really small nose for an Armenian guy, so I think I look way better with the wider nose because it broadened my whole maxilla. And you can see
Yeah,
here,
you have big features. You have
I
big
have,
features, so you can handle more big features.
yeah, so I have the like genetics to literally be like a giga chad, you know. But I just got held back because of my breathing issues. Like I have insane, like, if we're gonna talk about super orbitals.
This
Um,
is post-MARPE, yeah?
yeah, I mean this was like about 4 or 5 millimeters in. But
Yeah.
you can see my masseter on my left side is pretty big. But if you go through like maybe some other photos, you'll see the masseter on my right side is like not there. And
The
because
one thing I want to point out here is the septum deviation and the asymmetry in the nostril, which you pointed out earlier, but you can really see it. These things are become really visible when you look at the nose from underneath. You can see how it's curving off. It curves off to your left. Is that right?
it kind of goes like this. So my right side is like flat,
Mm.
like it's like a straight line down, and then my left side kind of like the nostril comes out.
Yeah, bows out like wow.
But it's not my
Wow.
jaw being uneven. It's just like my septum.
Would you get that corrected through a sort of cosmetic nasal surgery at some point, or maybe like a dual function cosmetic and functional nasal surgery where you fix the septum deviation?
I'm not insecure about like my nose looking ethnic. I think if a guy gets a nose job, like that's pretty sus. But I would want to get my deviated septum corrected, but I'm not gonna get like a rhinoplasty. You know,
Mm.
like there's dudes looksmaxxing like unless you have a completely atrocious like ginormous yam of a nose, like getting a jaw surgery is pretty sus.
The nasal surgery.
Yeah. There's just so many dudes that are like good looking guys with no health issues hitting me up. Should I get it? And it's like,
Mm.
probably shouldn't get it. And I got
Hmm.
so clowned on by my friends for posting these videos. Actually, like, I'm like a mini celebrity. Everywhere I go, they're like, oh, can I see your MARPE? This and that, like at the gym or whatever. A lot of people know about me. But a lot of people, like I said, I'm Armenian, and in my bubble here in Glendale, it's not normal for a guy to like try and make themselves look better. But I started posting this, and a lot of other guys started hopping on it. So a lot of dudes started realizing their health issues that they've had can be fixed with this. And so I've opened up a lot of people's minds that would have otherwise kind of stayed ignorant or oblivious to it. And some of
Yeah.
it, like whole looksmaxing talk, is a little like cringe to talk about, but that's just like the reality of it. Is like for me, because I was like pretty unattractive for someone that put in a lot of work, I was being definitely held back by my what can you call it? My retronaphic. Um,
Underdeveloped facial structure.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, man, I get it. I see it. So we've reviewed most of your stuff, and we've got a little bit of time left, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes before I got to head off to my sister's birthday dinner.
happy
What
birthday.
else would you like to focus on and talk about before we wrap up, Anthony?
Can you pull up just like all the photos?
Yep. So here's at the top, here's a bunch of videos. I think these were your really successful TikTok videos. And then down here we have some stills.
Yeah, so this is like some expansion. So okay, like you see that video of my teeth?
Video of
Okay,
your
you see
teeth.
that video? Do you see
This
the
one?
yellow bathroom?
Yellow bathroom. This one?
Yeah. So that was me 4 millimeters in. You can see my diastema. And one thing I want to tell people, if you're getting a MARPE, understand you are going to have swelling in your face.
Mm-hmm.
So how I look now, I had like a 2 week break of not expanding, and you can see your bone structure a lot better when you're not expanding when the swelling goes down. So this is me. I was expanding like every day, and I was like 200 pounds here. I had a lot of swelling and a lot of fat on my face. And you have to give it time before you fully see the benefits of the MARPE before you're like, oh, I'm looking worse or better. Because I'm not going to lie, I started thinking like, I feel like I'm looking worse. Like, I feel like my nose is starting to look like really big or really deviated, or like my cheekbones are getting too big. But a lot of it is actually the swelling. and you can't judge how it's going until you see the swelling go down, because you might think you'll be getting too balloon faced, and you're gonna think that's your bone structure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is
Well,
my fight.
so just a comment about your comment. People don't understand that when you get all of this hardware in your mouth, look at all these TADs, right? That is injury to your face. And that, like you said, is going to cause inflammation.
Yeah,
So for sure, you can't judge the horse midstream when you're mid MARPE treatment and you've got all of these, massive centimeter plus long screws in your head, and you're wondering why your nose might be a little stuffier or why you have inflammation above your upper lip around your nose. Well, could it be because you have these massive screws in your head? That might have something to do with it. Totally agree with you. A very underappreciated point about MARPE aesthetics mid treatment.
yeah. So actually, I noticed the breathing issues go away even the day I put it in. Because I think when they drilled it in through the bone, it kind of alleviated some pressure in my sinuses. And so even on the first day of having the expander in, I felt great, but I could not like eat or talk for like shit.
Yeah.
I was like a laughing stock of my friend group for maybe like a month. And then now, like you definitely have to get a water pick when you go into this. And now I barely even have to use a water pick because there's so much space in my mouth before and after. Like if you want to pull up the before of me at Audrey Yoon's office, I know we have to wrap it up soon.
Make sure you tell me which photo that is.
Bring the photos up to here. I mean, it should be me like in the office, freshly put in. Keep going, keep going. Okay, yeah. I actually watched, it's right there in front of you. I actually watched like the whole procedure happen in the TV reflection. But if you go to the photos next to the video, you can see the difference in my maxilla. I had zero room. I had zero room at all. And then now it's so much wider.
Yeah,
But
can we see it now? Hang tight. Don't move. Yeah. Yeah, it is significantly wider. And you said you got about 7 millimeters of expansion, you were telling me earlier?
8. And my
Are you still turning? You're still turning?
Once a week. So
you're going to continue getting more expansion, though?
Yeah, so Audrey Yoon had me turn every day for about a month. Then I took like a 1 to 2 week break, had a retainer in, and then I wore my Invisalign and then turned it every week. So this is to close the diastema while I still expand once the diastema is made. And it's, if you see, my teeth aren't perfectly straight. They're kind of angled in. So the teeth are being kind of arched in until the bone fills in, and then they're gonna actually have the teeth fill in the bone in my maxilla.
Yeah, that's what's called the controlled diastema protocol. It's something that Audrey Yoon is a pioneer of, and it's essentially managing the size of the diastema while you're still expanding using Invisalign.
Yeah.
And show that again, because I want to point something else out. So you see, like you said, the tips of the teeth are sort of tipped in, angled toward each other, kind of like this, and that's because Invisalign kind of has a hard time managing to move the roots of those teeth. Invisalign is a little bit, doesn't get enough grab on the teeth to really get the roots to upright and go where you want them to go. The tips of the teeth end up moving a little more. And so probably that's maybe the best you can do during the controlled diastema protocol, but it's still a really good thing to do because it looks good. It
Yeah.
prevents the big diastema from showing and people wondering what the hell you're doing.
I
And
come
also, it's good periodontally to not let too much of a diastema form, because then it means you just have to move the teeth even more later.
Yeah, it's like preventing more work to be done.
And also preventing bone loss in that area due to an absence of teeth. like you pull teeth, right? And then the bone resorbs from that site. So you can
Yeah.
imagine if you get an 8 millimeter diastema, the center of that of your arch can kind of not totally wither away. I mean, a lot of people do it, but it's better to keep the teeth there periodontally. So this is becoming more and more common, this controlled diastema protocol.
Yeah, she said it's like her usual thing she's doing right now. I'm not
Totally.
gonna lie though, I kind of do miss the diastema.
Tell me about that. I love diastemas. Do you too?
I don't know if we touched base on this before the recording or after, but like it was like a little party trick. Like I could fit a cigarette in my diastema and then
That's
smoke it.
fucking awesome.
I'll just smoke it like this, like I could have my
Bro,
mouth open. And I'll just inhale it, and it was interesting.
a cigarette or a blunt?
Cigarette. I can't smoke weed because I'm in nursing school.
Yeah, good. Good for you. It's not good for you anyway, man.
But as a nurse too, um, I've told a lot of my instructors about it, and they're like, "Wow, I've never seen that," or like, "I can't believe you got that." And as a nurse too, one reason I got it too, and one reason I'm going through all this is like I'm going to be working in the medical industry. So why not make myself kind of a patient and still get a gain from it? And I'm making connections from it. I can probably ask Audrey Yoon if I could work at her office or Tehrany or whatever. It's going to look great on my resume. You know, I got MARPE, I got staff, I got jaw surgery. So it's like, why wouldn't I just get it? I'm in this profession. Why not actually see what it's like to be a patient, see what it's like to improve someone's life for the better? So it's something also I wanted to do was just because it's cool.
Yeah, so in conclusion, in wrapping, your last comment about what you see your future as potentially having a career in airway health or surgical health, jaw surgery and airway orthodontics adjacent career path. I'm trying to understand, what was your purpose in wanting to come on the podcast? Is it just because you kind of want to show off your case and explain your motivations, what brought you here, the benefit that you've gotten from it, some of the amazing people you've met, like Dr. Yoon and Dr. Tehrany? What, in your own words, brought you here in conclusion? And then maybe give us a final statement.
I've noticed a lot of the people that come on your podcast aren't double jaw surgery cases. Most of them are just MARPE. And I notice also a lot of the people that come on your podcast aren't like super hardcore into like self improvement or like looksmaxxing. Most of them got it for the airway benefit. And I feel like a lot of people um, need to hear like a perspective more like mine where, hey, I'm into lifting, I'm into self-improvement, I did all this work but I still got it done. You know, just because you're nearing perfection doesn't mean you can't further improve yourself, or just because you're on paper healthy doesn't actually mean you're healthy. I felt really unhealthy until I got this, and I feel like what I say can resonate with a lot of people, because there's for sure a lot of gym bros that, you know, look in the mirror and they're like, I look like jacked Pepe the frog, you know. And I kind of felt like that, you know, Pepe the frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of memes about that, and I kind of felt like that. I'm like, I have a double chin but I have a six pack.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, if you guys have made it to this far end of the video, if you actually have breathing issues with your nose, please get it. And like don't be afraid of like what people have to say. Don't be afraid that people are saying you look good, don't get it. Or like you're overthinking, don't get it, because that's what I was told. Like, you're overthinking, you look good, you don't need it. And then I get it done and people are like, wow, it's actually working. Like a lot of people that told me I don't need it, you look great, you're healthy, you work out, why are you getting this procedure? I end up getting it and they're like, maybe it was a good thing you got it because you seem different, you look better, you your energy is better, you're not lethargic, you're not congested. And I feel like that is a perspective not a lot of people have to talk about that have came on your podcast. a lot of people that came on your podcast, I feel like they didn't put in a lot of work in themselves before they got it. And it's not that you have to. This should not be a last resort. If you have this breathing issue, this should be one of the first things you do, because the root cause needs to be fixed. You need to stop treating the symptoms. You know, like I was treating the symptoms so much, I was refraining from doing a lot of things I wanted to do because I knew it would give me an allergy flare up. You know, maybe the guys want to go out and I don't want to drink because I know it's going to give me an allergy flare up. Or, you know, maybe I just want a cigarette and I can't smoke it 'cause it's going to give me an allergy flare up. And you shouldn't do that. But, you know, that's just for example. I could not live my life freely as much as I wanted, even though I put in all this work to be so healthy, because I had this issue. Or I couldn't advance myself into like social media as much as I want because I knew I didn't look the part, I didn't feel the part. I was always congested, always like boogery, too much to be on camera. And so, you know, more people I know are getting into it, and I just wanted to raise that perspective. And I wanted to talk to you because I've been following you, subscribed to you, for like maybe 3, 4 years. It's been a while. Like I remember being like 18 watching your stuff, you know, and I was like, oh, like I need this, bro. Like I want to be like this guy. Like he looks so much better, and it's so cool. Like he's videotaping it, and like he's like a science experiment on himself, like biohacking. And I really appreciate like what you have done. I appreciate how you brought it forward to me because I don't think I would have found it. You know, there's a lot of videos on MARPE and MSE, but not many people have gone to the depth you've gone to, and it has like actually changed my life. Like your videos have actually changed my life, Ron, and I'm very thankful for your existence and the work you've put in, you know. And so I wanted to come talk about myself. I want to come talk to you. And I also, I think maybe after I get surgery, I would also like to touch base back on this
Definitely.
again.
Oh yeah.
And I think you should probably interview Dr. Yoon. I feel like she'll have a lot to say. Tell her I told you to hit her up.
Okay.
Um, and yeah,
Why don't you connect us by email?
I
Make it
could.
happen. Make it
I'll
happen. Set
I'll
it up.
send the email to you, and next time I go, I'll also let her know. Hey, this big channel wants to talk to you. I found you through him, kind of, and so you know I think you would get a lot more people coming in for your treatment, and you would become a very much bigger name in the space. And sure, he is a big name in the space for sure. So
Well, I appreciate all that, Anthony. No, those are kind words. I'm excited for you. I appreciate the charisma that you bring to the space. I think that you're responsible. I know you're responsible because you found two top providers to treat you. You're not just shotgunning, the cheapest possible provider to try to, treating these like commodity treatments. You've found the best possible people to treat you to make it safe if you're going to do something. So, not extreme, but something so potentially invasive and something that can go so wrong if it's done poorly, you better do it with the top provider. That's always been a
for sure,
motto of mine. I only ever recommend people work with top providers. You've managed to find them, and I appreciate the perspective you bring. And most of all, I'm just happy that you're feeling better, looking better, and
thank
that you feel like you can proceed and live the life that you want to live. So, dude, thanks for reaching out to me, for coming on, and for offering your perspective to the JawHacks audience.
thank you so much for allowing me to be on here. To all the viewers, if you guys want to stay up to date, um, you can follow me on Instagram, Anthony Grigoryan _. This is also my YouTube channel. I'm posting like nursing videos and like bodybuilding and also my MARPE and stuff like that if you guys want to stay up to date. And all these videos Ron has put out, make good use of it and get that expander done.
All right, bro. And we'll link to all your socials in the description of the video.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And
All
I
right,
will
G.
definitely keep in contact with you.
All right, bro. Absolutely. Talk to you soon, man.
Talk to you soon. Have fun at the birthday.
All right, bro. Peace out.